Alrighty guys, welcome back to another episode of Ostranauts. Today we're going to be doing a bit of a guide, and I decided to focus the guide on the actual piloting of the game, as I feel like a lot of people are a bit lost when it comes to that. So I'm going to be going through, I guess, some derelicts and docking myself, and I'm going to be talking and elaborating a bit on what my thought process is, and maybe I'll give a couple tips here and there, so hopefully it can help you guys out just a tiny bit. I don't want to, stay too long in the intro, so let's just get started. I'll show you how to use some basic maneuvering with the pod, and then I will show you a little bit of interplanetary travel with a bit bigger of a ship. Let's get started. Alrighty, so here we are in the pod. Basically what I'm going to be doing is I moved a little bit a ways from the K-Leg station, so we're going to have a little bit of a journey ahead of us. But first things first, you want to make sure you have RCS maneuvers on. RCS controlling with the pilot ship is pretty easy. You're just going to be using your generic WASD keys to move around. And you're also going to be using Q and E to actually rotate. This is your ship, so you want to go the direction that the arrow is pointing. Anyways, one tip that I always like to do now is to actually left-click the destination you're going at. And what this basically gives you is a trajectory of your ship. So if we say go forward on the RCS thrusters, as you can see, we kind of have this like outline of this triangle now, and it's a pretty good, I guess, indicator of where your ship is actually going. Now, we don't want to be going through a lot of RCS at the very start. As you see, this RCS remass right here, it actually does decrease every time you move. And so, yeah, I want you to just coast into a lot of areas. Feel free to just fast forward and slowly make your way over instead of actually like speeding, because it can get very bad. The more you use the thrusters, especially in one direction, especially in real time, the easier it is to crash and die horribly. So we're slowly going to make our way over to K-Leg. Our projected course is pretty darn close, so we should have no problem going over here. We're just going to be speeding it up until we hit the outskirts, which should send it all the way back into normal speed mode. Okay, now what you want to do when you actually hop into this is stop all, I guess, momentum right now. We want to be as slow as possible. So we're going to be hopping over to docking controls now, and we're going to be selecting the docking target here, which is this arrow. And we're basically just going to want to wait until we're actually in range of this thing. We got to take our time with this, especially because it is very easy to crash and burn, especially when we're docking. So we're going to be waiting, and as you see, we see OKLG. We're going to ask for clearance right over here on this right side, and we're going to accept it. Now, I'm actually going to move this off of screen. You might see this when you first start off with docking, and one tip that I want to say for right now is to keep your fingers on the S key, because that can back you out of a really bad situation if things are bad. But if the arrow's going to the right side, you're just going to want to hold D until you can align it with this outer circle here. This circle that's moving around right now is actually your ship port side, so we want to line that up as best as possible with this circle on the outskirts of here. So we're going to take it real easy. We're just going to slowly adjust. Now, feel free to press S to slow things down, because this is basically like a frontal view right now. So we are slowly bringing it in. We don't want to go in too fast. And we're basically going to want to align these squares together and slowly come in. And when we do that, we should be able to clamp engage pretty darn soon. Basically, all you want to do is just take your time, and you should do alright. Just give it a lot of time. To be honest, I'd even hit S, and as soon as it turns green, you can feel free to press the clamp engage button. And that should lock you down. There we go. Okay, so that is how you dock and move a little bit. We're going to be hopping back out, and we're going to be asking for clearance to leave now. So we're going to be heading over to the docking controls, and in order to leave, you have to select the same target, just like you would normally. And we're going to press the pushback/taxi clearance. Now what you want to do is disengage the clamp and hold S. That'll send you out a little bit quicker. Now, of course, you need to be wary of how much RCS remass you actually have. We are going through quite a bit right now, but that's the basic of docking. We're going to be going to one more derelict, and we're going to be docking there, just so you guys can get more of a feel of this whole thing, because it is quite a bit overwhelming at first. So we're going to left-click it as always, so we can actually see our projected map with our ship here. So we're going to adjust accordingly, just kind of even things out a bit so we're not as, I guess, topsy-turvy. So we're just going to be holding down W, and once I get a little bit of mass going, we are just going to fast forward it, and we're just going to coast. Feel free to, just tap it every once in a while when you are in this menu. Honestly, taking your time with this type of thing is definitely one of the more important things. Okay. We are getting pretty close, so we can slow her right down. And we'll see if we can slowly coast up to this area. We're actually going to turn around by holding Q a little bit. And we're just going to turn it as necessary. There we go. We're going to go into 4-speed mode. And as you see, you really want to make sure you don't go crazy with the Q and E buttons. So we're just slowly going to coast in. It seems like there's actually an interceptor after us. But we should be alright. We're slowly going to go into the proximity. We're going to slow her right down to a halt. All we need to do is just get barely in range of this derelict. And usually you can do that pretty easily. There we go. We got in range, so we're going to ask for clearance, docking, accept. As you see, we have to adjust this accordingly. Always remember to have your finger ready on the S key to back out very quickly, because it can get pretty bad. We're just going to nudge the W key to make it going a little bit quicker, making sure that we are aligned in the center. Slowly and surely, we'll be able to dock down, and we should be pretty good. Alright. I'm going to hold down S now just to slow it down a bit. As you can see, this is pretty smooth, actually. We'll just adjust it a little bit. This game definitely requires a lot of practice. I've died like 5 times figuring out just how to pilot on its own. There we go. We're able to land. As you see, if we were to leave, there would be a derelict waiting for us. Now, I'm not going to open that door because we would die of hypoxia. Alright, so now we're going to be using interplanetary travel. Alrighty, now we're going to be going over to interplanetary travel, and in order to do that, you actually can't use a pod from what I figured out. You actually need to find a derelict yourself, and you're going to need to repair that in order to actually get the long-term, I guess, distance planned out. So yeah, we're going to be doing that right now. We're using Alex, which is my first, I guess, playthrough character. And planetary travel is pretty damn easy. First things first, we want to make sure that there are no obstacles in our way. So we're going to use a little bit of RCS remass that we actually have left, and we're just going to slowly back up. Feel free to use as much time as possible. We're going by 8 speed right now. And actually, let's go set this as a marker. As you can see, we're going pretty damn fast right now, which it doesn't really matter. As long as there are no obstacles in the way, we should be alright. Okay, so all we're going to be doing for long range, I like to switch it over to maps so I'm not accidentally using any extra RCS than I need to. So we're going to be going into the INR view, and we are just going to find the nearby station. We'll go for VBBR. All we're going to do is hover over it, right click, and it should be set. Now all we have to do is set the trip G's max limit. The max we can go right now is actually 1, so let's head back into the system. And all we gotta do is press course engage. Now our ship should automatically align, and it should just go on its own. As you see, we don't need to do anything. All you have to do now is wait. Now there is nothing, I think, in all these stations. I checked them out before, and they're basically like the starting zone because nothing has been really implemented. But yeah, this is basically, I guess, a nice little rundown of what I go through when I pilot. So hopefully it helped out you guys as well. It's pretty damn quick of a video, but hopefully it did help you all. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Don't forget to like, favorite, share, subscribe for more. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.